Hi, captains. My name is Alexander Birke. I am the creative director, programmer, and game designer on Sea of Rifts. Sea of Rifts is a narrative sandbox RPG where you assemble a motley crew of misfits and sail into a broken ocean in order to figure out why the world is falling apart. On the way, you engage in tense ship-to-ship combat and experience a new unique story every time you play. The story generation is really key to the core concept of the game. Like from the very get-go, I wanted the game to create unique stories every time you played it. So this vlog is how I initially came up with the concept for the game. And it actually started with me reading a bunch of books during COVID. And one of them was this book series called The Tales of KDJ, which has this like really cool diesel punk setting, and they are about a captain who's a bit of like a low life. He's not really he doesn't really have high aspirations for his life, and then over the course of the books, not only does he kind of like take on the mantle of the hero, but he also becomes much more close with his crew, and they become like a found family and really like become a unit that acts well together, but also while still having like intrigue and like internal strife that they have to deal with as they are like going on the journey. And I thought to myself as I was reading it, like this could be really cool for like a game where the systems are actually creating like these kinds of stories. And on the game side, Sunless Sea and Sunless Skies, the roguelike, very narrative games from Failbetter has definitely also been an inspiration. RimWorld was also like a huge inspiration. So the core idea was basically take the loop that you do in Sunless Sea, but take a lot of the simulation aspects, like the social simulation from RimWorld, and put it down on the boat and see what would happen. So the goal was to make a game that creates stories about being a captain with your own crew and your own ship, and go on adventures in this like grand, broken open world. So before I did any programming or design of the game proper, I actually started to like look around and play some other games, get some ideas of like what other systems are out there. My initial plan for the game was to not actually make it a commercial product. I was doing it as a interesting like hobby project to to just try out like some cool design. I love procedural generation, so that was like the reason for why I started out doing it. But I couldn't help but like I couldn't help myself. Like it's to make sure that if I was gonna spend some time on this, that I was actually making something that would like stand out and like try and do something interesting that hadn't been done before. So what I did was to create this feature comparison between a bunch of different games. And I did this to make sure that whatever ended up in Sea of Rifts would actually hit like a set of ingredients that would be mixed in a way that hadn't been done before. After having done the feature comparison, I made a set of pillars for what this game should be about. And the most important pillar was that you should feel like a captain as you're playing, both in terms of like the what you actually do, but also in terms of like the role that you inhabit in the world. And this was like a really good lens because it helped me very often to say, okay, what mechanics should actually make it in, and exactly how should these mechanics work. Also, I wanted every voyage to create a new story from Deep Systems. So here we have this story generation aspect again. There should be a lot of replayability in the game and not a reliance on a lot of fixed content that you experience. Third, procedural generating the world. So every time you start up the game, you get a new place to explore. You can't look up what other people have necessarily done, and you get the sense that like this is your adventure, like and no one else has had it like this exact same experience as you. Fourth, tense naval combat with a focus on strategy rather than quick reflexes. This is again like tying back to like you being the captain. You're not the one necessarily like manning all the cannons and like making the split second decisions. That's the crew doing that, but you're the one that is taking the strategic decisions of like what should actually happen in combat. And fifth, living crew that are socially simulated with their own needs and personalities that you need to manage. And sixth, the ship should feel like it's a character and home. So in a lot of like fiction, and it's pretty much like a trope at this point, like the ship has a character of its own, and it has like the sense of like both being like a home and a place that protects the crew. And that's something that I wanted the player to also feel, that like this is not just a ship, it's their ship. All right, that's all I had for this vlog. Thanks for listening so much. If you haven't already, you can now wishlist Sea of Rifts on Steam. We also have a demo up that I would love for you to try and give us feedback on. We really use a lot of player feedback to make the game better. That's also going to be a vlog in the future where we talk about how we actually make the game in terms of like playtesting. But for now, try the demo, join our Discord, and I'll see you on the next one. Safe wins.